ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Congratulations to the class of 2020. This is a special message to the young Sikh students around the world who are graduating or taking their exams at high school. This really is a very, very exciting time. Also, we're in a very unusual and challenging time due to the coronavirus. Many of you will not have graduation ceremonies. Many of you feel isolated due to the fact that you cannot celebrate in groups at school or high school your graduation. I remember joining my high school in 1981, village in Punjab, and it was a very tough time. I was one of those students that never paid attention to school. So going from a primary school to high school, I used to be the guy, the little boy, who used to receive a punishment, which means the teachers would punish you with sticks in the back of your hand or beat you on the legs. But you guys are in a very, very privileged position. This isn't 30 odd years ago. This is now 2020. What you face during these unusual times, we never, I think the rest of the world, ourselves, our own community didn't really. So sometimes we think, what can we do? We're so young. How can we change the world? How can we be the world? How can we be part of the solutions to the problems? There's so many problems, so many issues. There's hatred. There's so much racism, but then there's also so much activism. In this social media age, you have the power, which we didn't 30-something years ago when I was in your position. And sometimes I look back at my very simple childhood in a very small village, in a very small rural village in Punjab, where we had no toys. We made our own toys. Electric was a luxury. 2 hours a day, maybe 3 hours a day. But there was something in that village which I haven't found anywhere else. And I left Punjab in 1981. Today we're in 2020. And that was that love that although we had different faiths, different people, we had different castes, you could say, which I absolutely think is the most disgusting invention by human beings, the caste system. But the way I was taught by my mom and my dad was to see people for who they are. So I remember as a child, the fields burning with the heat, with the summer heat, no rains, and everyone's crops failed. And the village Granthi, the priest, he visited everyone, he got everyone together. He said, now we will feed each other. We will get through this tough time together. I think that's the key, together. And then, sometimes we're in this situation now during this virus that we can't be together with people. But again, when I said that you have the power because of social media, you guys can talk to each other through social networking platforms, through emails, video calls. It's almost like we're not really in isolation. Sometimes as Sikhs, we look for inspiration. And I can tell you, we have some amazing young, very young inspirational leaders. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the King of Punjab, he was 12 or 13 years old when he became the leader of his group, of his family, of his area. He became a leader. Then for the next several years, from the young age, he worked very hard to unite the rest of the Sikhs. This is remember, at the time when the Sikhs were being attacked by the Mughals and the Afghani forces. And then at the age of 21, he became the King of Punjab. So when you say, I can't achieve anything, or what can I do, how can I do anything, look for inspiration. Guru Gobind Singh Ji's oldest sons were teenagers when they went into battle against thousands of the enemy. They got on their horses and they rode into battle at a very young age. So, we have many, many inspirational stories for young people. But today, as a Sikh, I'm looking at you guys, the new generation, with hope. I hope that you will continue to be the humanitarians. I hope that you will realize what the message of Sarbat Tapala, which means well-being of all, recognize the whole human race as one. What do these phrases mean? What is your responsibility in this world? A world sometimes you see in the media with hate. So much hate in the media. But yet Sikhs, we're serving food, the langar concept, all over the world right now. Khalsa Aid is just one of the organizations involved in providing food for the coronavirus affected individuals or groups. We're not only working in Canada, America, Australia, India, UK, but we're also working to provide food, emergency food parcels for the refugees in Iraq. And this is where my hope is. As youngsters, realize what your role is as the next generation of leaders. As Sikhs, we are born leaders. The turban we wear, the way we are, how we see humanity, makes us very sovereign. Every individual is a sovereign leader. We talk about human rights. We fight for human rights. As youngsters, you will study, or you would have studied human rights. Our ninth teacher, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, gave his life to protect another faith. That was protecting humanity. So when we sometimes give up that hope, or sometimes we feel alone, remember there are refugee children around the world who I've seen myself, who would love to be in your position, in a very privileged position where you have food, water, a roof over your head, and people around you who love you, and you're not living in a war zone with the threat of bombing day and night, or in a refugee camp. Those refugee children see you as their hope. And I hope you will continue that message as we discussed previously, as we discussed before about Sarvat Tapala. So go into the world, be the world. Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't hide in the mountains. Guru Nanak Ji said, I want to be with the people so I can make the change, be the change. I've seen so many Sikhs now protesting in the Black Lives Matter campaigns and protests. Excellent. I see so many young Sikh activists fighting for refugees. Brilliant. You're here for this reason. You're here to fight fascism, racism, prejudice, and unite all human beings under the banner of humanity. So wherever you are, congratulations. Be hopeful, be visionaries, and be the leaders that we naturally are, but always remain humble. And once again, I congratulate everyone who have graduated, and I congratulate those who are taking, and wish them good luck taking the examinations. In the future, for me, as a Sikh, seeing my young Sikhs, the generation, being so active, makes me very happy. And I wish you all well. Remain human and be kind. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.